Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to take a look at the Spitfire Mk VB Trop for the Italian tech tree in the Premium Series. It's been a little bit since we've actually done a plane for the Premium Series. The last one was the Ori 2001 Gruppo 22, and it's been a little bit. So figured, well, it's time we actually get some more of these done, because I was going back through my tech trees and sorting out the presets and stuff like that, and I realized just how many vehicles we haven't covered in the Premium Series right now. Because obviously I'm trying to like the ones that I've got for the nations we've done already previously, those will be done in a loop back, as I like to call it. It's same as what I planned to do with I can't remember which series it was, but it was one of my series, but that was the plan anyway. So as per usual, in the description below there'll be usual links to the Discord, the Patreon, and the TikTok, if you wish to support the channel any further, of course. And of course, special shout out to Bosnas and Ramraj18 for supporting the channel via Patreon at the highest tier. So, this is a exact copy of the Spitfire 5B Trop in the British tree. And I must admit, and that's no fault of this plane, I don't remember the last time I flew this thing. We'll know by the belts, and well, that proves it. It's set to default by automatic, but yeah, it's been a while since I've actually flown this Spitfire. The reason for it is, like, I don't play much Italy as it is, and if I am, I'm playing the 109F4, obviously not now with a cannon nerf, or I'm playing the G4 BF110 or the HS129. I'm barely playing Italy. Like, I've obviously been grinding like the Hungarian line, and obviously spaded the 89P and the T2S, but like, there's no, like, I've had no real incentive to play this plane because I've just not been playing Italy. And if I have been playing Italy recently, it's been either for combos or it's been for other series in general. So this Spitfire, I'm afraid, has been kind of forgotten by me, but that's not a fault of the plane. So, of course, we do have two 20mm Hispano Mark II cannons. These are pretty good. And, you know, it's not a bad cannon, but it's just the fact that we only get 60 rounds in the drums, which could be an issue, but I think we can work with that. Then, of course, we get 350 rounds per Browner machine gun, which they'd work, but they're a bit They've always been a bit to be honest, and they're not great in terms of what they can do, but with the 20mm backing them up, this will be fine. Then, of course, we have the Rolls-Royce Merlin 45 engine with about 1400 horsepower. We're in a pretty light airframe, so nothing really to worry about here. But obviously, the only thing we really have to watch is wing damage, because that can really affect the Spitfires. And then, of course, any sort of focus fire towards the engine area, because obviously we have fuel tanks, and of course we have the engine, which is quite cramped in there, and is also quite, you know, vulnerable to damage, as some of you may know if you've played Spitfires before. But obviously we have got France to move on to, and well, France has got some pretty interesting vehicles to cover. Obviously, as you would have noticed as well, I've been covering the vehicles that I have I have purchased for the nations that we haven't covered whilst we're at it, so it saves me doing it during the loop back. It's been quite an effective system. It's been working so far. I'll be doing the same for tanks, because obviously I have been getting tank premiums every so often, so that's something to consider as well. So, let's get into a match, see how we do. And welcome to the match. As you can tell, my team is all over the place. We've got planes at high, we've got planes low, we've got an LA5 up high, we've got Yak 9 intercepting our bombers. We have all sorts at the minute. So I'm not expecting this match to go too great. I suspect you're a P. Which you most definitely was. See, I may be many things in life, but I'm not a dumbass. Although it does depend on the day for me. That's him dealt with, at least. So, I think because of the team composition down low, I think I'm going to head down. This LA5's not too concerning for me. The I-16 high is, but I outturn the I-16, so I'm not too worried. Let's go for this Yak 7. Hello, Mr. Yak 7. Thank you. That's him dealt with. LA5 might be coming down. There's a P-39 up high, which is most likely the Pokrushkins. We can deal with that. P-39N's turning back in. Bleed off a bit of speed. just so we don't rip if we have to turn for him. Hello, Mr. P39. How are we doing? You're not as fast as you think, my friend. Nice hit on the cooling. That's what we like to see. We're using machine guns here. Thank you. Nice tasty fire. This plane still has a lot of benefits, like, compared to... Because, for some strange reason, this thing's the same BR, I believe, as the Mark II. The Mark IIB. Which I don't know why you'd fly that over this, but, I mean, some people have to, I guess. I know some people do main certain models of Spitfire, and that's probably why. But, like, come on, it's not... Like, why fly the Mark II when you have this, is what I don't get. Ooh, that was close. That's him gone. Now it's just the guys up high and a Ju-88. That's 4 kills so far. We've racked up pretty good. SB2C's farming ground targets, so they have to come down eventually. That P39 and LA5. They have to come down eventually, because we're going to win on tickets. And I think they know that because they're engaging that 190 quite low. What else is left? So there's howitzers and stuff like that we could go for, but I want to try and support the team and maybe get an ace. I don't know. We'll see how things go. They've took out our SB2C, so that's quite unfortunate. The LA5, however, is getting swarmed, so I think he is not a problem. Well, he might be. He might be Terminator for all we know. Because he's just flown through that entire lot of fighters and basically come out unscathed, so yeah, we kind of need to deal with that. We're not going to be able to catch the LA5, but we don't really have to, because we have a 190 to do that. Let's see if we can get on him, though, because, you know, I might be able to get a shot in with the Espano at long range. That was close, but I only have 16 shots left. I'm going to leave it. 190 has a chance of running it down, so I'm going to leave him to do that. P39's climbing in the clouds, so it's just these two left plus one other aircraft, which I don't know of. But honestly, this match has been so easy. Like, I spent a few minutes climbing up as you usually do, and I've just been chilling. Like, these kills that I've gotten haven't been too particularly difficult, so you know we don't need to worry. It seems like to me though that these guys are going to go runway camp, so I'm not going to fall for their charades. I'm going to go for ground targets. You'll actually notice I use my Spitfire's 7.7s in a very different way to most. I aim them on ground targets and other things like that with just 2 of the guns. The reason for that is, one, I run a decent convergence anyway, but it just means that, you know, I can just guarantee shots on them. I'm not going to risk anything if I don't have to. And it looks like they are going to try and camp. The LA5's dead. The Yak 9 is just taking off from the forward runway, but the P39 is running on to the other runway, which is the airfield that has AA guns. But, well, that gives me a chance to farm some ground targets, bleed the tickets in our favour. P39 can camp all he likes. He will not win on tickets. I will make sure of that. Our teammate in the SB2C got 28 ground targets. I still have a decent bit of ammo left, so I will make sure of it. Like I say, aiming with just 2 guns is actually not that tricky, and once you do it enough times in a Spitfire with the early machine guns, you tend to get used to it. Here comes one of our bots making a pass. That's fine. But like I say, it's just so much more efficient to actually do it this way. Because not only are we killing the ground targets, we're just making it harder for the P39 to have a reason to camp. Because he has to come out eventually if he wants to not only have his precious KD, but also... Ah, I just missed a crew member there. That's unfortunate. I fired a bit too long of a burst anyway. But that's what I mean. Like, I try to teach these things in my videos if I can. Like, these strategies that I use. I'm not saying all of you need to be like me, but, you know, it's the thought that counts. You know, I want to help everyone get better at the game and stuff like that, so I try and rub off some of my influence, so to speak. So there's a howitzer over there, we'll go for that, and yeah, the P-39 is 100% camping, so I will leave him to do it. I can always go back to base, get some more bullets, and load ground belts, and then go from there, so I'm not really fussed. I will gladly spend my time making sure this scumbag don't win, so... I mean, he sat at altitude the entire game, and refused to come down until it was too late, and then he's just going to camp his runway, so... I have no sympathy for this player. So yeah, if I was to suggest like a vehicle to get for Italy rank 3, this would probably be it. Because, you know, it's forgiving, and that's another trick I've just shown you there. Tap firing. Very easy to do if you have keybind set, and honestly, makes a world of difference when you're trying to ground attack. Because right there, I don't need to dump the last of my cannon rounds into that howitzer to kill it. I only need about 4 shells. So that's another trick you should try sometime, is tap firing. It's very useful. Obviously, some people do it anyway, just like not even out of instinct. They just do it because they do. But honestly, it's pretty simple, you know. Like it's really simple to do, and that's all I'm trying to rub off is some of my tricks and strategies and stuff like that. Okay, I'm out of bullets on the 7.7s. That's the only problem with these. They run out of ammo very quickly. So I have 12 shots to try and take out the rest of these trucks, which won't happen, but we'll try it. I didn't think that would work. I got a bit too greedy there. I could have crashed, but it's fine. Let's head back to base. He can sit in his runway all he likes. I couldn't give any less of a toss. I mean, we're on 4 kills, 10 grand. Like, we've done more than our fair share. Plus, we have the bots still alive, which will take care of the rest. So, I'm not going to bore you with the flight back to the airfield. I will catch you all in a moment. Never mind. The game's just ended because the guy landed and J'd out just to preserve KD. Classic. That's what I mean. If you just put pressure on these types of players, they'll just leave to preserve their KD/win rate. So it's not something I need to worry about. And I forgot to mention, I did slap on a 150% SL booster. You might have seen it in the intro a bit. Oh, are we going to get a talisman? No. That was close, though. That could have been a talisman. Would have been a nice rank 3 one as well. Although, I know Sir Cogna's going to kill me for this, but I would not want any of these sacks of shit with a talisman. Out of all these, if I wanted a talisman, it'd be this. And, well, I don't need to explain why. But yeah, that was not a bad run in the Spitfire Mk VB Trop. Like I say, we got some kills, we showed the effectiveness, you know, and, well, I'm trying to rub off some of my tricks, as I usually do. But, genuinely, this is not a bad plane to pick up if you do want to start grinding Italy. It's obviously not the most forgiving aircraft, because obviously the cannons don't have a lot of ammo. The machine guns don't hit the hardest, you know, it's not the most forgiving, but it's more forgiving than the BF-110. Like, the BF-110 is very good for ground attacking and obviously taking head-ons, but with how the 20mm have been misbehaving recently, I think this is personally the better option for a newer player, but for an experienced player, the BF-110 is probably better, because obviously it has a rear turret, which can absolutely shred planes behind it. Heavy bomb loads. It has incendiary bombs that can take out bases. Its guns can take out most ground targets. So, you know, there's a lot of option to consider, but personally, my opinion is I would take the Spitfire if I was a newer player. And that is not any British bias there. That's just me being honest. Because the 109 F4 you can't buy because that's a Battle Pass vehicle, which never should have been a Battle Pass vehicle, but that is a subject for another day. Anywho, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. Really hope you enjoyed seeing the Spitfire Mk VB Trop, and I'll see you next time.